Exercise number 8. In this exercise, we will cover the Terraform state file. By default, Terraform stores the state of the infrastructure and configuration of the cloud resources on the terraform.tfstate file. And this file can live remotely. You can store it remotely, or you can store it locally. For this exercise, I'm going to use a remote state file. I basically just copy the terraform.ts file from exercise 4. And if you want to play along, you can do the same. So let's start. Okay. After having that file in place, I'll do terraform init, which will do the usual stuff. It's basically getting the providers, but the first thing that it does is check for the terraform.tf file. If it is present, then has to use a remote state file, so it's pulling that information from there. Okay, perfect. Now that we have an idea of the terraform state file, let's run the first command, terraform state list, which will list basically all the resources on the state file. Perfect. That's all it does. So I have quite a few resources actually. I created an extra one just for this exercise. So we have a subnet, resource group, public IP, network security groups, virtual network, all the usual stuff. Now the next command that I have in the list is terraform state pull. All by itself, all it does is just outputs the terraform state file. That's all it does. This is the terraform state file. But you can also redirect the contents to a local copy if you want to. .tfstate, and it's just created a file, state file. Now, when you do that, you can also have the ability to edit the file, which is not advisable. It's not really a good practice. It's not easy to maintain because you're pretty much dealing with the JSON file in here. For all intents and purposes, this looks very JSON. And it has a few things. Also, you have to protect some stuff, some sensitive information in here on the state file. So you have to take steps to protect that as well. So having said that, the next command is terraform state push. So if you did any changes to the, let's say our remote copy, we did any change to it, we can push it to our remote configuration using terraform state push and the name of the new state file. I won't do that because I haven't done any changes, so there is no need for me to do that, and it's not advisable. So let's move to the next command, terraform remove rm, terraform state rm. So let's do terraform state list first, just to get a list of resources, because what the rm does is remove. It removes a resource from the state file. So terraform state rm, and we're going to pick the vnet. Yeah, that's the easy one. Paste. And it's gone. We can run terraform state list, and it's no longer there. Now, if you need to put it back, you normally need to remove stuff when it gets corrupted, when you are doing a terraform apply and it gets corrupted while it's getting created on the Azure API. So you sometimes encounter those issues, and the best approach is to basically remove it from the state file well, basically you have to remove it from Azure because the creation wasn't successful or something like that, and then you remove it from your state file just to have it clear, and then recreate the resource. That's the best approach of doing it, the best way. So on this one, since it's not corrupted, I just remove it just because, just to show you how the rm command works. Let's put it back. This is gonna be a little bit more tricky. We're already here in exercise 8, virtual network. So we're going to deal with the import command. So it's terraform import. Now it's terraform virtual network. So let's take a look at the previous exercise, virtual network, how it was defined, because you need to create a file with the declaration inside virtual network. So we scroll up. This is our section. We do a copy. Actually, let me take that back. Bnet.tf. Let me just paste over. I mean, just a copy paste. You can do it on the editor. It's fine. So now that we have that block defined, of course, now that we have that block defined, we can import it. So it's terraform import Azure RM virtual network .bnet. So basically we are copy paste .vnet. That's the name, and we need the resource ID, and we get that from the portal. So we are on the virtual network. We go to JSON view, and there you go, resource ID. We just copy that. Did I copy? Yeah, I copy. Go back to our editor. We paste that. It's gonna give us an error. It's gonna complain about provider or something like that, but that's fine. Let's walk it through. There you go. If it's complaining about the feature sections and the Azure RM provider, that's fine. No big deal. We can always copy the providers from the previous exercise and just paste it in place. Let me look. Terraform providers. Oh yeah, this is it. Perfect. Let's rerun that. It's gonna take a little bit, but should complete successfully. There you go. So it's back in place. Terraform state list. It should be back in place. There it goes. Virtual network. So let's move to the next one. Terraform state show. Gonna need a resource. So let's grab this one, the one that we just put in place. So copy and paste. There it goes. So it displays the resource, and you need to open the entire state file. You can do it just localized by resource. Terraform state move. That's another command that you can use. The next one. So let's do a state list just to see which one is going to be our next victim. Resource group. Yeah. So I'm gonna use it just for renaming stuff, but you can actually use it for moving resources around, like put it inside a module and stuff like that. I'm just gonna illustrate the syntax, how it works in here. So terraform state move, the source is going to be Azure RM resource group. If mesh to selected. Oh, come on. And I'm gonna rename it something else. Just the RG. I'm gonna change resource underscore group. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm doing. Just doing a rename in my case, but you can do more stuff than that with the move command. And we do a list. And there it goes. Has a different name. Now let me move it the way it was originally. So RG for this. Resource underscore group. Just putting everything back in place. Not that it matters because this is an example. And the last one, I won't be doing anything because it's for replacing a provider. Let's say you have a custom version of your Azure RM provider, for example. You may fork out of it from the GitHub repo and you have certain features. You can grab your current code and just replace it for the new one that you happen to have. You need to specify the proper path and stuff like that. But that's how that one works. And well, this is a short video, so with that we conclude this, and happy terraforming.